That's what I like to see. Good finish with no chatter. Well, that's that 4.5-inch 4-jaw chuck mounted on that back plate. And I'll show you what I did with the chuck I had mounted on this. I'll be right back with that. Well, sometimes things can be a little bit more time consuming than you plan them to be. But in the end, I think it's worth it. I got this 8-inch 4-jaw chuck mounted to that 4140 steel back plate, and now before, with the back plate that was on it, it was a Chinese kind of, it's okay cast iron, but very soft, but it wasn't a very sturdy mount. And cutting a 5-inch length of this aluminum, it would chatter up at the end, and I knew I had a problem. So we'll take a cut on it now. I got it running in reverse to oil those gears in the back. But going with this plate here, I shortened it up about just under 1.5 inches, about 1 inch and 3/8 closer to the spindle, and it's just a more substantial mount. I'm going to go ahead and take a cut here. We'll get this thing shifted at 628 RPM. .628 looks like this. Right there. Get her spinning up. Okay. Now I'm going to take a real shallow depth, just about 2.5 thousandths. This is my wax lube with a beeswax base, castor, Molly D, a little bit of thread cutting oil, and some Tab Magic in there. So we'll get this thing touched off. Now I hope this camera don't fall off like that. I got a feed of right about 3 thousandths. And I got a micro 100 cutter here. Just gonna touch it in. Now I was having problems with this chattering. Oh, it might still chatter. We'll see. I might have the wrong angle going here. Oh, where'd it go? I'm going to adjust this tool back a little bit. Get that cutting edge just a little bit back. Let's see how that does. Got a real small radius on that tool. Let's try this. There we go. Now I'm going to feed it in just about 2.5–3 thousandths. 628 RPM. At least I think so. I better double check that. That's it. Okay. very good. Nice finish. No chatter. Kind of squealed a bit. I had that tool just a little bit too forward. Very good looking. I think it was worth the effort. Sometimes you get a little too much time in the stuff. In these two chucks here I'm dealing with, I got, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours fiddling around with the mounts. And after this, I'll show a little closer what I ran into mounting this 8-inch 4-jaw on a D16 plate. The normal size chuck is 10 inches. So you kind of run into some clearance problems with the taper on this, the taper on the spindle. Oh, that looks so good. Really nice. Now I get a little bit of pushover, and on something skinny like this is 5 inches long. Really nice finish. Okay, we'll check it for taper. Now it's getting almost 3/1000 taper with that really small 4-jaw, the 4.5 inch. But you really can't get those jaws very tight with that small wrench, or a small chuck for that matter. Okay, I'll kick it to neutral. We'll back this off. We'll just see where this goes here. I'll load that indicator on this a full turn. Now it's reading about 2/10 under 0. The end's going to be bigger because of that push away. Now I'm getting about 3/10 on it. Just about 3/10. Or 3/1000. And that's pretty normal. Now with that 12-inch heavy-duty solid steel Cushman, I got it down to just a little bit more than 1/1000. You know, more than twice as good as this. The taper's even. It's not the lathe, it's the pushover and deflection. At the end of 5 inches. Okay. Okay, I'll pull this chuck off and I'll show you some things with it. I'll be back. Okay, on these chucks, I fit them to that spindle taper pretty snug. So I think that makes it, it's better to be a little bit more careful taking them apart or taking them off. So the way I do that is I loosen the odd numbers pins first. So I'll loosen 1, 5, and 3. And then I do 2, 6, and 4. And I think that helps not tweaking or crowding that taper by tightening them up less evenly. Okay. So I lift up on this board here a little bit because the chuck's a little smaller. Then I can just slide it off. Okay, let's make sure I got that on there good enough. Not going to fall loose. Let me rotate this thing. This board makes handling the chucks quite a bit better. Now this is what you run into mounting 8-inch 4-jaw chucks on a D16 spindle is the mounting screws. These here are too close to the taper. So I got this chuck just as short as possible, or the mounting plate, and you can see the mounting screws for the chuck protrude into the taper. So I stopped it at the right spot there, but I can't get the mount any shorter without shortening screws even further. So that's about as short of a back plate as you can do with an 8-inch. Now the 10-inch is the standard small size for one of these. Okay, I'm going to take this chuck and set it down. Now the one thing I like about this 8-inch chuck is it's real easy to handle. Now I'm going to grab that 4.5-inch one now. And get it up here. And it looks good. I kind of pre-cleaned it. Now on this older spindle, they didn't grind them in place at the factories back then. So this thing's got just under 4 10,000ths run out, which is normal. The maximum in the old Dean Smith and Grace machines is a 0.5 maximum run out of the taper and the spindle face. Now right here I got a mark, and so I machined the back plates in place, but that means with a little bit of spindle run out, that means you have to index it. So I got a mark and I line it up with the number 1 pinion. Let me get that over here. This isn't very heavy, but it's nice to have this wood here because you don't want to be dropping chucks. Oh, wrong spindle hole. Let me get that in gear. Oh boy. See if I can pull that over. I got things out of reach here. Here it is. It's hard to turn this sometimes. If it sits for a minute. Okay. So pick that up and plug it in. Just like that. So when I tighten the chucks, I'm going to tighten it 1, just lightly at this point, 3, see this plate here fits a little more snug, 5, tighten pretty lightly, and I'm just pulling it onto that taper. Then I go 6, hit the even number ones last, 2, then the next one will be 4, okay, then I'm going to go back over them all and snug them evenly. Just a lot like that. All right. So this is my chucking situation for 4 jaws. And I tell you what, with the price of even used chucks, and I stay away from the Chinese stuff. I like this. I like these American-made chucks. Skinner's, Cushman's, Union, they're all real good, Buck. So that's a 4.5 inch 4-jaw mounted on a D16 spindle. Okay, I'm going to fiddle around with this 4-jaw a little bit, and then I got a little tune-up to do on that Monarch 10EE. Okay, I will be back with that. Have a good day.